Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to World Human Sciences in Management Conference 2021 and 22. This is Rudranarayan Das, Executive Director, Center for Adivasi Research and Development. We are proud to announce that this conference is conducted along with Indian Institute of Management, Sambalpur, Central University of Odisha, Koraput, and Ravenshaw University, Cuttack. I welcome our speaker for today, Professor Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal ji, and participants across the globe who are joining us through Facebook and YouTube Live. The broader theme of this conference is Ethnological Context, Disciplinary Practice of Social Sciences and Policy Trends. On behalf of Center for Adivasi Research and Development, I extend my profound gratitude to our respected patrons, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Naik, respected Vice Chancellor, Ravenshaw University, Professor Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal, Director, Indian Institute of Management, and Professor Dr. Sarath Kumar Palita, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Odisha. The convener of this largest virtual conference are eminent Indian historian, Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda, and eminent policy activist, writer, and philanthropist, Mr. Charudat Panigrahi. The main outcome of this conference is to come up with the national and international framework for the education system in the future. The crux of this conference will be the use of digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality that is being increasingly adopted after the outbreak of COVID pandemic. We hope this conference will help students, faculty, researchers, and all to expand their mental horizon and help the education system to adopt the best in future. Ladies and gentlemen, our center, CARD, is a leading research-oriented institution promoting ethnographic, empirical, and evidence-based research for engaging and addressing the challenges that 21st century globe is facing today. And the prime agenda of CARD is to come up with the potential policy solutions for social change while believing in the idea of 3D that stands for debate, dialogue, and discussion, and E3, expertise, experiencing, and education. The institution focuses on marginalized communities to work for their livelihood, to protect the nature, culture, language, and identity in particular sense. The age of modernity has witnessed that change is the only constant phenomena for societal purpose to enhance the knowledge. Sir, our information work for them is methodical and avoid paradoxically frameworks which neglected so many centuries from theories to become practice. The CARD sincerely believes in the concept of social marketing, which is seriously looking for non-profit marketing and builds new social entrepreneurship for check and balance mechanism to glorify generations to come. Center for Adivasi Research and Development come to serve with the holistic approach of critical thinking in education to fill the gaps and plan accordingly for the voiceless communities, for beneficiaries, direct and self-reflecting global self-societies. Dear friends, from Facebook and YouTube. In this evening, we have with us one of the very best researcher and academician, Professor Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal ji. Dr. Jaiswal did his PhD at the University of Delhi in 2009. Now, Professor Jaiswal is an associate professor at the Department of Epidemiology in Public Health at the Central University of Tamil Nadu since June 2020. Dr. Jaiswal was an assistant professor at the Department of Anthropology in Pondicherry University, Pondicherry. Professor Jaiswal is an author of 11 books and more than 95 papers and articles published in different national and international research journals. He also written more than 50 modules for Indira Gandhi National Open University and PGE Pathshala. Professor Jaiswal is prepared the physical and financial annual progress report of the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. Dr. Jaiswal received Best Paper Award 5 times from the different universities. So welcome, Professor Jaiswal, to World Human Sciences and Management Conference. Your insightful ideas will be definitely help our audience to get new emotions on the educational system. Thank you so much. You should deliver your talk as suggested by you is tribal development problems and dynamics of development in today's session. So without taking much time, I would like to invite Dr. Jaiswal to initiate his talk. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for highlighting such an important and so many descriptive information about me. And I'm really overwhelmed to listen all these things. It's always a pleasure. First and most important thing is that I would like to thank each and every person who is involved with this lucrative and very important program, because this is really required at present to have some forum to discuss about some of the critical issues and to highlight the real sensitive concept of vision, wisdom, development, and sensitization of a society. Very good afternoon, in fact, very good evening to all of you. This is Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal from Department of Epidemiology and Public Health, an anthropologist from Central University of Tamil Nadu. Today, I'm going to discuss about a very important issue called tribal development, problems and dynamics of tribal development. Is it audible to all of you? Just a cross check.
Yes, sir. Please.
Is it clear? Everything is clear?
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So when we discuss about tribal development, and suddenly there must be a series of questions came in the mind of almost all of us. And we always used to say that this is really very important for the society, important for a specific group of people. And suddenly it's really surprising that even after having so much discussions, having so many important organizations, so many important institutions, ministry, government officials who is directly looking for only these two words. One is tribal, second is development. And suddenly it's really surprising for all of us, even after such a long period of independence, such a long history of Indian civilization, such a golden vision of Indian civilizations, we fail to give a proper justification towards this particular concept. And we used to blame so many important what is called institutions for this. And suddenly we never gave a justification. That's why I use the term problem. I use the term dynamics. I use the term development, because as we all are thinking about development, we have a very single concept, that is economic. So before moving towards finding the solution of all this particular problem, it is important for us to have a clear-cut background for that. We all know that the word actually tribe is taken from a Latin word, tribus, which means 1/3. And the word originally referred to one of the three traditional groups which united to make a Rome. And we all know that India is known as a melting pot of tribes and races after Africa. And approximately 8.6% of Indian populations comes under the category of scheduled tribe. In India, aboriginal tribes have lived for almost thousands of years, mainly in the forest and hilly area without any communication with various centers of civilization. And even though we have such a long historical background, but we don't have exact definition or criteria for considering a tribe as a human group. Based on the several literature that is available over here, and we try to gather and come with a very systematic analysis. We call it as the characteristics of Indian tribe, and we define this as a geographically or social group, hilly and forest area groups, having integrated social organization. They are known to have a cultural homogeneity. They have a common dialogue. They have a shared folklore. Hierarchy among man and group is absent. There is an absence or lack of strong, complex, or formal organizations. They are segmentary characters. They have a little value on additional accumulations. Lack of distinction between forms as well as subsistence of religion. So many specific characteristics that we get from different literature. And based on that literature and based on a series of historical reading, we came to know that they have some of the very elementary problems, but sensitive problems called as like related to land alienation, forest and tribes and displacement, indebtedness, health, nutrition, and lack of healthcare services, infrastructures, lack of proper educational services, then their identity, cultural problems and diffusion, concept of private property, in migration of other communities, even the language problem because of unwritten forms, and so on. We have seen that there is list of problems is also there. And if you analyze all this problem systematically, you'll find that this is not a specific problem which was developed of its own. It is not a tribal problem. It is altogether a problem that we have to understand it properly. So now, with the above discussions, we are able to identify or generalize easily the features, meaning, significance, and the struggles of the struggle of tribes or tribal population. So while going to the tribal development, we need to understand the term development, and that is very much important because we all together fail to understand the development, and ultimately that is altogether a critical issue. Because of that, we fail to provide tribal development as a whole. As we all know that development is a process of change, or change in a progressive, positive, and in upward direction. When we go with the tribal development, we have the question that automatically came in our mind is, at what level of desire that the planner of implementers need to solve it out, are tribal themselves. In a wider view, development should be identified as the process of change in the desired direction within a what called stipulated time. And it is very difficult to define development just like other concepts of social sciences. But various scholars, various school of thought, various organizations or institutions or agencies define it in their own ways. And because of this differences, till today, we fail to give proper justification or understanding towards the concept of tribal development. And normally, development may refer to qualitative change or progress so far as the physical or material needs are concerned. And tribal development may be basically said to imply creative required conditions in a tribal belt or in a tribal area in a very specified.
नहीं सॉरी हाँ खराब भाभी हो ना अरे नहीं सॉरी हाँ
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah, is there any problem? Hello.
No, sir. Some are just unmuted themselves.
Okay.
Please start.
Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we try to see this developmental feature, and while just now before the lecture, I was just Googled the term development, and I was really shocked. I was really astonished. I was really very much surprised that there is thousands of pages of informations are there. There are a lot of monies is invested on these issues. Like very simple, just 2 days back, Arunachal NABARD launches integrated tribal development. Directorate of Travel Welfare inspect travel freedom fighters. There is a development of museum. There is a development of several plants. There is a development of jobs. There is a development of several kinds of protections. Tourism is becoming a part of that, and so on. And it's really surprising. It's really surprising that on the just you just type the term travel development, almost more than lakhs of books are available in the market or in the several platforms. And even though lots of people has worked on these issues, lots of people are writing on these issues, lots of people are discussing about this thing, then why we fail to get the solution of this particular problem? Why we fail to give proper justifications? And that's why I took this particular topic to discuss over here and added the term dynamics, added the term of statistical variation, added the concept of its rotative changes. And I'm trying to just give a some glimpse of explanation on that. So let's start discussing about travel development issues, especially in India, in the form of problem. Since the inception of a first 5-year plan, the Indian government has formulated a series of development policies pertaining to the welfare of tribes. And as I told you, but even after 7 decades of independence, almost more than 70 years, tribal communities in India are encountered with several difficulties, several problems in the context of socio-economic feature, cultural feature, and political development. They are considered as weaker section of the society and lead at bare subsistence level. They exist in a situation featured with poverty, deprivation, disadvantages, etc., which cannot be tackled effectively on their own. Hence, there is a need for the government and the society to intervene for coming with some mitigation, their misery, and facilitating developmental process in an appropriate manner. As we all know that land occupied by travel, they constitute just 20% of the land of the country. And availability of precious materials in different tribal regions, it causes exploitation of tribal land by commercial purpose, for commercial purpose, leading to serious repercussion for socio-economic organization of tribal communities. The land-hungry non-tribal money lenders are liquor contractors, merchants who buy forest produce and sell domestically are exploiting tribals and extract forced labor by paying insignificant or no wage. This result is limited access to means of livelihood, and in effect, tribals have no access to their land and land-based resources. Further, the problem of land alienation is very serious in tribal community. The rich and powerful forcibly occupy their land, and on the pretext of environmental conservation and several other feature concerns. Another serious problem is indebtedness among tribal communities due to illiteracy, poor or no knowledge in handling money, ignorance, backwardness. So in several cases, even the institutional mechanism evolved to provide loans with low rate of interest and easy installment, and also not of much help. Education and health are another major parameter in the development of tribal community. I'm just highlighting almost all the direction where it is a lacuna. Then we try to come with the solution also. So education is not only the indicator of development, but also a process of empowerment and participation in development. Even the change in dietary habit and declining forest food resources result in malnutrition. In access to modern healthcare and substitution lead to disease and death, which need to be paid immediate attention and emphasis to the tribal people. And surprisingly, we are all together investing nowadays what we call the modern and developed world. lot of money on the name of organic food. What is that organic food? It is nothing. The food which general tribal people they used to eat or which they used to produce. But now we are investing a lot of money on that. Similarly, after creating the background, now let's try to see so this to approach this provides equal opportunity to the disadvantaged section of the society and assesses the development process and its fruit. So two different approaches were suggested on the policy for the development of a tribe, and better we call it a scheduled tribe. On one hand, segregation was suggested wherein the tribal identity and heritage should not be disturbed, leaving them along with the minimal intervention. Similarly, however, we have to develop a middle path has been adopted in the consonance in the general understanding with the policy evolved in the basis of a important Panchshil program which was given by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, a great visionary and known to be the first Prime Minister of India. The basic tenets of these policies are people should develop along with the line of their own genius. The tribe should develop their own culture and make their contribution to the cultural richness of the country. Tribal right in land and forest should be respected. These are three important concepts. Hence, the present policy is to bring the tribals into mainstream, make them participate in the developmental processes while making efforts for preserving their identity and heritage. And in the post-independence India, a number of plans and programs have been devised under special provisions of the Constitution of India for the socio-economic development. Then we'll come with the other point. Like in the first 5-year plan, which was launched in 1951 to 56, the first 5-year plans was launched with the programs for plant changes in India, for improving the quality of life and basic amenities, laying emphasis on sectoral programs such as agriculture, health, education, drinking water, housing, communication in the country, including travel area. So during this plan, there is an emphasis on community development program was initiated with active participation of the people. Remember this part that is altogether missing in the future course of action. And in 1954, the special multi-purpose travel developmental block was constituted. Similarly, in the second 5-year plan, along a travel developmental program, certain special efforts were made for the development of tribe in the form of development of 500 tribal developmental blocks established during this plan. There is a post matric scholarship was developed. There is a special attention was given on the health services. A number of schemes was sponsored by the central government. This include a very big multi-purpose project like colonization scheme, construction of houses, construction of new roads, improvement of existing means of communication, opening of new medical and health unit to eradicate diseases, then special provisions for drinking water, development of industries, and so on. You will find it there is a drastic changes that took place as far as the policy level during this plan. Similarly, we find that there is a special provisions for the economic upliftment, financial allocations to the student, and ultimately during the third 5-year plan, there is the scheduled areas and scheduled tribes commission, which was set up in April 1960s. They submitted an interim report which emphasized that programs should be undertaken in tribal areas for land improvement, land reclamations, soil conservations, minor irrigations, supply of improved seeds, manures, implement and bullocks, provisions of facilities for training, improved agricultural practices, development of cattle, fisheries, poultry, and so on. You'll find it a big changes, sequentially evolutionary changes we find in the third 5-year plan. Similarly, the fourth 5-year plan focus shifted from area development approach to the area and group specific approach. And during this phase, 6 tribal development agencies were started. And even the planning commission has constituted a study team to explore the problem of scheduled tribe. Similarly, during the 5th 5-year plan, programs were formulated exclusively for special need of the tribal community. A distinct revolutionary approach, which is known as tribal sub-plan approach, TSP approach, was initiated. And the important feature of this integrated tribal sub-plan strategy, it includes an area and group specific approach, very important one that is required for balanced and integrated concept of development. Similarly, if we try to see the main objective of the 6th 5-year plan, that is from 1980 to 85, was to improve the socio-economic condition of the tribe and to bridge the gap between tribals and non-tribal population and to cross over the poverty line. So the main thrust area of this policy of development of this particular plan, especially related to SC and ST, was integration of services for developing self-reliance, development of skill, introduction of latest technology based on local materials, local skill, and so on. See, if you analyze it, we are discussing about so many important issues that is a part of current National Education Policy 2020. Even during 7th 5-year plan, which give special consideration was accorded to SCST in the integrated rural development program. And during this plan, during this 7th 5-year plan, 75 primitive tribal groups were identified across the country, and group specific programs was initiated especially for this particular group. Similarly, during the 8th 5-year plan, that was from 1992 to 1997, the problem of SCs and STs were tackled by streamlining the mechanism of planning and implementation of program of special component plan, which is related to tribal sub-plan, and the schemes specifically targeted for the welfare and development of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Similarly, we see the main objective of the 9th plan, just attachment of that, was to identify the efforts to bridge the gap between the SC and ST and the rest of the population. So they are bringing them together, just removing the gap that was there and the gap that was created from all the other sectors, almost in each and every sector. So efforts was refocused for improving the quality of life, employment generation, self-reliance, in order to minimize the differences that they have, a gap that they have. So overall, we find not only development in one direction, not only development with one sector, it is altogether overall development that was continuously carried out in each and every plan. Similarly, we have seen in the 10th 5-year plan also the focus on sustainable management of natural resources like water and land, and increase in forest cover were given a keen interest. Even though we are discussing about so many positive things, we are discussing about so many approach which is altogether known to be major approach in this plan is the major approach in this plan is to resolve the unresolved issue and solve the persisting problem. How to solve this? So we broadly categorize the solution of this in the form of social empowerment, economic empowerment, and social justice. So it appears from the foregoing that elaborate efforts have been made during different 5-year plans by implementing tribal development policy and by infusing huge financial inputs for welfare and socioeconomic upliftment of tribals. But still, again, after creating such a wonderful platform, discussing such important proper evolutionary positive economic upliftment of tribal community, still we fail to find the solution of development. So if we see a real solution for this, we have to start with the one broad title called as participation of tribals in developmental activities. Or we may say that sustainable developmental process involve participation of all the concerned people, including tribal people. So some of the features of their participations that is needed, that tribals are needed to be involved in all aspects of developmental programs. Tribal are to be provided with empowerment and restrain them from silent participation. Reorient the existing administrative machinery, which could take effective deterrent action against the predatory money lenders, traders, and contractors. Constitutional guarantees tribal protection and development, which form the basic policy on tribal development. Hence, they need protection from all sort of exploitation from non-tribals. Tribals are needed to be imbibed with and strengthen the confidence. Tribals' command over existing resources, that is land, water, and plantation, are to be ensured as they used to enjoy earlier. For sustainable regeneration of natural resources, for saving ecology and protecting the environment. We are discussing about ecology, we are discussing about protecting the environment, we are discussing about the climate change, we are discussing about greenhouse, and so on. Even almost whole world is now very much alarmed in conditions to find out the solution of ecology and protection of the environment. So such holistic and coordinated approach towards development and their active participation is imperative for integrated development of tribes. Now let's try to discuss the strategies and series of suggestions. So the strategy for tribal development is to improve their quality of life, specifically in the field of education and health, and to spare them from exploitation from outside non-tribal element. As I told you, all the problems was created by not by the tribal, but mainly by the outsider. So notwithstanding the achievement and deficiency in the development of tribals in the last 7 decades, more than 7 decades, the existing policies and strategies should be strengthened. And keeping this in view, there are a series of suggestions are made for tribal welfare and development in the form of education, in the field of health, in the field of economic, in the field of housing, in the field of social and administration. Now let me give you a just glimpse of in points related to all the 6 suggestive measures. Like tribal education should be given in the language of the tribals and in their own cultural background. Educational content should be related to their unique socio-economic cultural matrix of each tribal community. Similarly, providing medicine, safe water, nutritious food, clean and properly ventilated houses, promote modern healthcare system, and synthesize the Indian system of medicine like Ayurveda, Siddha, which is very close to the tribal people. Even you can just try to expand and use a synthetic method for their health development. If we discuss in the form of economic, then mobilizing and organizing the poor scheduled travel families into a self-help group, that is SHG, improving the capacity and ability of the tribal people to manage risk and to promote self-reliance and develop themselves. Similarly, assigning of a specific house site and construction of specific houses, which has a proper basic amenities like drinking water, proper road connectivity, proper electricity, proper habitat place, proper space for their survival. Even some of the evil customs of bride price, child marriage, magic and rituals, prostitution should be discouraged and eradicated through social awareness program. And even several superstitious problem, this belief has to be removed through some scientific education. Similarly, if we see from the administrative point of view, an effective administrative framework should be redesigned with the nuclear link between the Department of Tribal Development and all other welfare department and nation building department to avoid bureaucratic bungling and wastage of resources. So at last, let me try to conclude my lecture with some of the important designative, what is a conclusive point, that in the post-independence India, a lot of plans and programs have been devised under the special provisions of the Constitution for socio-economic development of the scheduled tribe. In spite of those concerted efforts and huge financial investment, a large majority of the tribal population are still deprived of decent quality of life. The process of development, tribal development, is so slow and uneven, it's marked by imbalance at the region and group level. Such a situation is attributed to large number of problems and inadequacy at the implementation level, marked with low commitment at the governmental level and personal at the field level. Along with this, high incidence of indebtedness, land alienation, educational backwardness, and lack of communications are major inadequacies in the process of tribal development. Though the tribal sub-plan strategies, which provide a good result, they are not consummate with the intellectual, administrative, and financial input. The legislation made to provide protection to the tribal from exploitations by non-tribals are not properly implemented. Now also, if you open the paper, every day you will find some information related to that. Considering the inadequacies and failure of the past, planners, administrators, social workers, and non-governmental organizations should be careful in identifying the problem of tribal population and then to understand the response of this tribal for whom the plans and programs are made. So a clear appreciation of the entire process build better perspective for proper planning and execution, without which any substantial developmental program and policy cannot be executed for this specific downtrodden people. At last, I will leave the discussion with a very alarming question. There is a question that arises that there has been a big change within the lives of the tribal population from the past year after independence. But the question that whether the communities of the tribals in India benefited from the current developmental programs or not. If yes, to what extent? If no, then why? Where is the failure? Whether the suggestion that we as an academician, we as a researcher, we as an anthropologist, we as a field worker used to carry out from our primary information, whether it was implemented, whether it was reaching to the policymaker, whether they are really giving special preference to all these sections or not. If not so, then why there is a need to discuss about this. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. And now the platform is open for any questions, any clarification. I love to discuss with you all. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please.
Now, if there is any question, then please feel free to ask. Let me have
Yes.
some discussion on that.
Okay. Sir, thank you for
Your voice is not clear.
Thank you for your wonderful deliberation. And now I would like to invite Dr. Vikram Kesari Jena to carry forward the session. Jena, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rudraji. Hello. Thank you so much, Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal, for your very insightful and very wonderful insights related to tribal perspective and related to development as well. You are working immensely on the public health and anthropology as well for last 2 decades, if I'm not wrong. I've gone through your profile and your works also very insightful and very meaningful, emancipatory and satisfactory related to the particular public justice, and you are rightly working with so many ministry as well. Thank you so much and congratulate for your golden works and excellent work. It's a great indeed and proud privilege to have with you. All the series is always taking very much important to related global dialogue, and we have to dialogue few questions with you. And the series also considering one of the largest webinar and marathon series of mapping mind, and you have the fantastic mind of youngsters that are watching us in particular YouTube and Facebook Live. You highlighted the Panchshila Niti, right? And you rightly talked about the entire journey of 75 years, what happened and what not happened. And if what not happened, for what reason? If development perceived, then development pursued for whom and in which context? I would like to add some more of your information related to the valuable adding kind of conversation. I would like to know much more about from you, what is the lacuna behind the tribal development perspective, which has already not exactly 75 years of independence, more than centuries ago, when we have in post-Gutenberg's arena, when the printing priest moved on in global arena and the printing started there, and then what happened? If I am not wrong, I will give you and take you back the ancient time, the Nagas in Mahabharata period. The displacement happened in particular that arena. And from that onwards, this holistic approach of tribal belt, particular in 21st century globe, which is almost 5,000 years ago, perhaps they might be in trouble, and in contemporary days, they also in trouble. What is your assumptions, your perception, your idea, and what is your suggestions to carry forward the idea? Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear friend. It's really, I'm really looking for such questions, and I'm delighted to answer on this, because a similar kind of question I raised on one of the important platforms, where a series of tribal development champions. I would like to say the term champions because they were working for almost more than 2-3 decades on, especially on this field only. And yeah, as I told you that. If you clearly, I just give you a small, in fact, suggestion, in fact, request you also, just type tribal developmental organizations, and their what is called the head who is sitting over there, or their administrative, the person who is holding that administrative responsibility. And you'll be surprised to know that hardly less than 5% people who is coming from either from the tribal belt or having a tribal experience, or they know the exact, the concept, characteristic, vision of a tribe, tribal development, tribal requirement, or what tribe is all about. And if they don't know exactly for whom they are doing this thing, for whom they are sitting over there, for whom they are planning that, and then certainly it's really sad. And in fact, we never expect the clear-cut solution from there. And that's why in one of the points while discussing that, we have to bring the tribal people in each and every affair. We have to understand each and every type tribal people separately, tribal communities separately. We have to plan for each and every tribal group belong to different region, belong to different blocks, belong to different states separately, and we have to plan as per their vision, requirement, and wishes rather than making a holistic, common, generalized plan for all. If you develop it for all, the thing that is going on nowadays, as we have seen in almost all the several 5-year plan, as we have seen in almost all the plan that is developed for Irulas may not be suited for Todas. The plan that is developed for Santhals may not be suited for some of the tribes of Andaman. So each and every community have a specific requirement. Some are rich in several resources, some are lacunated with resources. Some are having a specific requirement of education and health. Some require a specific requirement of habitat and basic livelihood. So we have to understand each and every specific tribe individually, particularly based on region, based on state, based on certain specific sections. We have to develop a special policies, take into consideration of their views, their understanding, their altogether mindset. And important thing is that unless until we involve the people who is having a anthropological field-based knowledge, analysis, or whosoever is there, who is living with them, who is understanding with them, studying with them in one-to-one format, it is very difficult to come with the solution. And that is the reason, even after several decades or even more than a hundreds of years so concerned, we fail to get the real solutions. And every day we are discussing about that. And I told you during the lecture also, you just type tribal development. My God, almost lakhs of books are there, lakhs of papers are there, so many government reports are there, so many government officials, institutions, organizations, national, international organizations devoting their lot of time, resources, and material. Forget about that. We have a separate ministry, and even though we fail to get the result. Are you getting my point, I suppose?
Yes, absolutely fine. We have other questions as Professor Shubham Das is here. He is from political scientist and one of the advisors of the center. I would like to Shubham Das ji to initiate the question answer session with Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal ji. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for such a very wonderful and insightful discussion. I have some questions with introduction plus questions. That what do we actually mean by development? Does development means, inviting the multinational companies to extract the natural resources in a cheap rate, that the state and authority thinks about the meaning of development through rapid industrialization, violating the environmental norms, violating the forest acts and violating the PESA acts, which the constitution has given a mandate to protect the tribal rights, but we are openly violating that. In the tribal epistemology, if you see that they are very sensitive to protect their environment, they are very close to their environment because they worship the nature. They are the community, they are the first aboriginal community. Then they started worshiping the nature. They're thinking that if nature survives, then the earth will survive. But we are considering ourselves civilized, and we are saying that they are barbaric, but we are not considering that what the sensitivity they have towards the environment, and we are neglecting them. We are telling them they are uneducated, but we are not looking their knowledge, their epistemology towards the environment. And how you look at this? And my second question is, what necessary steps to be taken, so far as the policy is concerned? If you see that I have seen the most of the civil servants, when they get selected for civil service, they say that we will do something for the development of the tribals. But when they get appointed as a DM or as a, if you see or collector, you know what they do the same things that the politicians do. Probably we can say this is such type of policy failure. Then what type of policy we need to have to protect the identity of the tribal people? Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Professor Dr. Das. It's really good. You raised a beautiful point, and it's really, you are totally, absolutely all right. You said very clearly that. And in the discussion also, I clearly said that there is a need for holistic and coordinated approach towards development. There is a need for active participation, which must be imperative for integrated developmental of the tribe. Such developmental, which is mainly concerned with self-reliance, self-support, self-esteem. When we discuss about self, they don't want any outsider. As I also mentioned that we are nowadays discussing about organic food. We are now discussing about sustainable development. We are now discussing about several kinds of disease and disorders. We are discussing about survival. Have you ever really perceived that these tribal peoples were discussing about this when they are living in their natural habitat? They never. Even during the case of this corona, the rate of mortality, the rate effect of this particular disease and disorder was quite minimal in compared to the developed world, what is called well-structured world. Even we have seen the approach of this were much more authentic, much more sustained, much more developed if we don't disturb them, if we don't interfere them. Just provide appropriate basic requirement in the form of self-reliance, in the form of self-support, in the form of self-esteem, not by interfering with the outside world, not bringing the multinational companies, not bringing make the outsider to exploit their resources, disturbing their natural habitat, disturbing their ecology and ecosystems. And that's what I'm telling you, that we fail to understand the concept of development. For us, like the Western world, like the modern world, for them development means economic development. For them development means positive upliftment of positions, money and infrastructure. They never bother about this. For them developmental is different issues. For development is their self-sustained survival existence. For them development is living with appropriate natural resources. And we have to understand this thing. We have to understand this part. That's why while moving towards the solutions, moving toward the strategic suggestions, I bring into limelight all the things. I just try to bring all the 6 sectors and highlighted where we have to touch, either from the educational background, or from the health background, or from the economic sector, or from the social sector or administrative sector. We don't have to disturb. We just try to add, like a salt, some of the specific material. They don't want a big thali of food. They want a specific suggestive thali of rearrangement. And if we understand that part, we'll surely come with the solution of development. We'll surely bring the golden change. We don't have to invest such a great amount of money, such a great amount of resources, such a great amount of what is called plan and policies. Right,
yes,
Dr. Das?
Yes, sir. One thing more, that we know that the tribal peoples are producing the organic foods. If you see that our state government, whether the central government has failed to create a global market for them, to get them the actual ways what they produce, but we have failed that. We have failed to sell their product in a globalized manner, without a middleman. And also there are some questions for you or from my side. Now, what necessary steps need to be taken to protect the Adivasi language in particular? Not only Adivasi language, but also their identity and culture from epistemological violence, perpetuated particularly by this heinous state corporate nexus. I'm repeating, that is a state corporate nexus which leads to cultural erasure by forcing them to assimilate with the dominant culture of the state through the institutionalized manner of the corporate-driven education system. In particularly, I want to say that also, how do you look at the academia activism relationship to protect the nature, culture, and identity of the marginalized sections of our society, particularly Adivasis, whose lives are getting devastated by such extractive capitalism? Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Das, you rightly highlighted the issue. See, before moving towards giving the answer, you reminded me of one beautiful event just had happened 3 or 4 years back. One of my master degree students from Odisha itself, he came with a very, I just forced him, why can't you go and present a paper in the Indian Science Congress, as I'm always a be active part, and you are seems to be a little bit active, why can't you go? And then he said, on what topic, sir? I told you that, see, Odisha is a lab of anthropological analysis. That is a place of almost so many things. You just select anything. So he came with one news cutting. In the news cutting, and the news cutting was highlighted that I'm not highlighted because of the ethical issues. One of the tribal community, his printing, what is called the clothes printing part, that was used by one of the leading models on one of the Ram show. And over there, he made that this was developed by that particular group only. And they get all the limelight. Limelight in the sense, different kinds of explanation and different kinds of vision on that. And he showed me that particular cutting. And he said that, sir, I want to write something on this. And I want to highlight to the Science Congress platform, but because that is the largest platform in India, where almost people from almost all the discipline, all the leading scientists, they used to visit. And if I highlight it over there, it will be great. Okay, yeah, its thought is perfectly all right. And I was also being master degree. I don't want to force him a lot because of the limitation of time, but he was very much interested. And I told him that whatever knowledge you have, you come with that. He came with a beautiful 6-page information about the historicals, about why it is there, its cultural relevance, then the other features about each and every feature. If you see culturally analyze it, it has some story. Don't think that it is just a print. It is actually a tales. It is actually a folk tales, which has a lot of cultural relevance. And he beautifully explained everything, why this is there, why that is there, why it is this form, and everything. And we represented over there. And we raised this point to that particular media personality also about this. I have not yet received the response. This is the clear-cut answer about the dominance, the specific altogether capturing the world, the suppression exploitations, and the academia, the person who's working. And I also quoted you that I raised these questions in one of the platform where the several champions are sitting, champions of this particular field of development, that why they fail to get the solution of that. Why? Where is the lacuna? Whether your position is low or you are not interested. If interested, whether the government is not looking in that way, or whether you are not approaching the government in that way. We have to think in that manner. If we approach it, if we think that this is our existence, our I-card, obviously you have to do. But the people never think in that manner. People think in the form of a research, think in the form of publishing a paper, think in the form of just completing their duty, not a responsibility. And that's why they publish and leave it like this. And ultimately, what is the concept? Again, next time we'll discuss about development with similar modified version that we have to understand. And this will clearly highlight your both the market oriented as well as financial, what is called so-called specific. I don't want to use because that is a very sensitive feature.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Over to Rudra.
Yeah, thank you. Any other point? So any other question? Anything
yes,
anybody
sir.
want
Yes,
to ask?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Sir, what is your ideas about the future perspective? What you deal with tribal agendas of development? Do you believe this particular sense of time in a critical pedagogical practice and what rightly mentioned by Professor Das, epistemological violence, or even not even we cannot find any kind of literature from their side? They are always treated like the second-class citizens of this country when we say quote unquote tribal. Tribals are our brothers, tribals are sisters, and tribals are our fellow colleagues. Tribals are the center. When the time will come, the tribal people are always, try to impose these policies for general people. How it possible? A country like India, where the marginalized community always treated like the backwards. It's not the right word to pick and say them backwards. It's really unfortunate. But in a global audience watching today with Facebook and YouTube, they should understand clearly it's a country almost believe the aboriginal sense of notion, the nation of notion, and also the state of notion. The prejudice by nature, the suppressed class, and the sarkar, saukar, and zamindars, the determination of towards the holistic approach of development. It's not just development. Development means the holistic agenda, the integral humanism. The last line of the entire row should be get benefited by the voice of any kind of state or any kind of power. The power and the knowledge always divine forces with the deals with dealing data, what we call it contest or discontest or never contest. It's the time to re-begin, rethought, reimagine, recast, resubmission, and do a concrete solution. Need your ideas, sir.
You are absolutely all right. And see, very frankly, we used to take this particular section. I have not called downtrodden. I have not called that is altogether several terms, but this particular section of people in a very, very different way. Sometime as a vote bank, now you have seen very soon you will get in the election of president and vice president also. Or sometimes it is taken as that particular sections of people who is always standing with a mercy hand, like a beggar, like a what is called dependent, like a people who is altogether mean for exploitation on the. And very frankly, if you really look for its holistic development, if you really think about its bringing into mainstream and coming close to all of us, we have to think about the solution in almost all the directions, almost sensitization from each and every section. We have to make the other non-tribal, what is called several other specific group of people, either in the form of caste, in the form of a class, in the form of race, in the form of several other features. We have to make them, sensitize them, motivate them, or just counsel them the way we are counseling the immature people about their relevance to. Most important among with this, there must be stringent policy related developmental programs that has to be a very, very sensitive and very, very strong enough, so that if there is any such infringement took place against this particular section, they have to make it alarming for the other to realize, not as an instrument on the paper. It has to be on the field. It has to be reflected in each and every format. And along with the sensitive behavior of each and every section, to educate them, to improve their economic structure, to bring them in the such administrative format, so that their socio-economic and socio-cultural and socio-specific developmental will be highlighted, and they come and retain their existence like all of us. Are you getting my point, I suppose? So there is a need
Yes.
for proper strategy for tribal development to improve their quality, and taking consideration of all the 6-7 fields that I discussed: education, health, non-exploitative issues, the restriction to the outsider non-tribal peoples. And we have to understand the proper academic deficiencies as well as achievement in order to bring the developmental of tribe in the fourfold manner.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
and what your agendas related to their nature and culture and language particular. Sir, we all know they are the real worshipper and they are the real scientist of the modern earth or mother earth. We can't say modern earth. We always considering them the real worshipper of the mother earth.
Yes.
What is your what is your agendas and your ideas to save their nature, culture, language, and identity particular? Also, our card is CRD always looking for this kind of engaging and very exploring ideas in global south particular, which is neglected so many years and so many centuries. What your agenda, sir? Need some of light on it.
You simply you have to develop a sustained environment, make them to live in that environment in an appropriate and fruitful manner, providing all the basic facilities that they lost, and make them to be there in their own natural habitat, in their own existing conditions with the developed vision. And that is the only way to protect each and everything, either language or their culture or their natural habitat or the ecosystem or ecology or the overall holistic scenario of the tribe itself. Very frankly, the characteristic that I defined today, if you go and really tally it, we will fail to get a clear explanation about whether they are really tribe, whether is it the definition, the concept that we discussed, that we thought of, is it related to that? Why they altogether converted in such a great manner? Why they have adopted some different regions or cultural features? Why they are so much prone to change to different world? And now we only used to see a model of their hut, model of their environment, either in IGRMS Bhopal or some of the tribal belt, just one or two. If you visit there, you'll find out of 100 families, 3% is having the similar original attire. Rest all are modernized in one form or the others, either with the help of the government or NGOs or any outside intervention, and that with certain hidden agenda concern. We have to understand this part, and we have to provide appropriate natural sustainable environment. Then only we'll protect, otherwise difficult, very frankly difficult. Development never based on economic field, never based on infrastructural field, never based on the term of development that we see in the current context.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much you joining with us and delivering such a very wonderful insight related to tribal development and tribal policy as well. Without wasting much of your time, I would like to invite Rudranaran Das to go for a formal vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir, and looking forward for future engagement. Thank you
so much. Yes, I love to. Thank you so much. It's really nice interacting with you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jena, for inviting me to close the session with a formal vote of thanks. I'd like to thank everyone to help me putting this conference together in today's session. First of all, my big thanks to our speaker, Professor Jaiswal, for the contributions and providing this time with across various thoughts and different developmental aspect towards the tribal development and in the sector of higher education and research. Definitely, your insights will help our audience to find a new horizon of knowledge, and it will be also help our students and researchers to get new kind of knowledges, acquire new kind of knowledges in this 21st century arena. I'd also like to thank our institutional partners, Indian Institute of Management, Sambalpur, Central University of Odisha, and Ravenshaw University for their contributions and moral support. My special thanks to our patrons, Professor Sanjay Kumar Naik, Professor Dr. Ajeet Jaiswal, and Professor Sarat Kumar Palita for their support and guidance, and the convener of this conference, Professor Chandi Prasad Nanda and Professor Charudat Panigrahi for their support and motivation. Special mentions to Dr. Vikram Kesari Jena, Director, Center of Adivasi Research and Development, and Shubham Das for helping me to carry forward the session. I would like to thank all the coordinating professors, Professor Srinivasulu NS, Professor Sudarshan Misra, Professor DC Das, Professor Loknath Misra, Professor Sarat Kumar Raut, and all the team of Center of Adivasi Research, Shubham Das, Dr. Nupur Patnaik, Dr. Preeti Siranjan, Dr. Samuel Lima, Dr. Kamal Mohanty, Dr. Neha Sharma, Dr. Saban Bag, Dr. Nina Das, and San Kashyap for their contribution. And also, I would like to thank all our participants and our regular viewers from Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for your supports, and thank you for approximately 1 to 1200 active participants of our Facebook and YouTube who are watching us live every evening at the outset. And thank you so much all for your contributions. We are cover 100th session, more than 100 session in World Human Sciences and Management Conference under the leadership of Center of Adivasi Research and Development. Thank you. Thanks once again to Professor Jaiswal to connect with us and deliver your insights. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Das. Thank you so much, all the active members who is involved in this particular important organizations, and especially Dr. Vikram Kishore Jena ji and the Director IIM Sambalpur, Vice Chancellor Ravenshaw University, Vice Chancellor Central University of Odisha, and all the other active members for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I love to interact with you all, and especially I'd like to say to Dr. Jena Saab, if there is any as such journals, magazines, books where we want to develop related to tribal issues concerned, feel free to discuss. We'll love to collaborate and work on that issues, because that is altogether missing in several specific platform, and if it is possible, we'll work on it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the nice proposal also. Thank you.